Good morning, everyone. Please stand and join me as we sing This Is the Day. This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Oh, this is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
So let us pray. Let us take a moment and just really hold how very blessed, how very treasured this congregation is. And I need the prayer to come on up. I'm stalling. But let's take a moment to really honor how blessed we are. So let's honor that blessing by extending it to ourselves and then to each other. So may I be peaceful. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well and strong. And may I be happy. And then we extend that to everyone in our community, everyone who's here today, everybody who's joining us from home. May you be peaceful. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well and strong. May you be happy. And so it is.
It's birthday Sunday, correct? Anybody have a birthday here in May? Would you please stand if your birthday is this month? None? None? One. All right. Two. All right. And Jim in the back, happy birthday to you guys.
Good morning, guys. We also have Jim Stuvey in the sound booth, who is, it's his birthday this month also.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, family. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Good morning, everybody. This is welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. And it's the first Sunday in May, and what a beautiful day it is. And what a beautiful day it was yesterday, too. If you just parted the raindrops, there it was. And my phone, you know, these guys, they have no respect at all. They're wanting money. I paid something for supporting political causes, and it's like blood in the water. The sharks keep coming, so. All right, now we are here. I'll introduce our cast of characters. We have Reverend Dalia Adams, who has been here almost 11 years now. So, here. It's lovely to be in a group that is that stable, don't you think? Have a relationship to depend on. We have Mr. George Haver on music. I'm Richard Potts, your service assistant for the day. We have Warren Spaeth in the sound booth back there. And Jim is live streaming this with our cameras and recording it for future reference. So if you haven't done this before, I recommend that you bring up Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center on your laptop or phone or whatever, and go back and look at some of these previous Sundays or even the one you just watched. All right. So we have the time to honor the Christ within, and we ask our candle lighter assistant, Bree, to come up and help. And, I just have to work so hard to get her to come up here. She just is so reluctant. Here we go. Okay. We're going to do it first time this time. There, you got it. Okay. And we have created a symbol for the light that we don't have to advertise. It's just beaming out of this, our friend here, Bree. So let's sing. Oh, you are a beautiful child of God. Let's say that. Perfect in every way. Oh, bring up the rest of the kids. Here they come. All right. Okay. Now, let's say this to our friends who are standing in front of us. The hope of the future, right here. You are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. And if it's true for these three young ladies, it is true for us. I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. And now we get to sing Beautiful Child of God, and the children will go on their way to attend their Sunday meeting.
I'm a beautiful child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace. My light will shine forever. I'm a beautiful child of God. You're a beautiful child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace. Your light will shine forever. You're a beautiful child of God. We are beautiful children of God. We are wondrous spirits of love and peace. Our light will shine forever. We are beautiful children of God.
All right, and off they go. Let us introduce our prayer chaplains. Prayer chaplains are a major part of our team here at Unity. And we have Pat Flores and Dan the man. And Dan was out with us yesterday in the rain. As we waited for a break, we were out cleaning up the, oh, that's another announcement. Anyway, thank you for the, thank you to our prayer chaplains, yes. All right, community highlights, announcements. We've announced this for several weeks now, the Women's Retreat here in heaven. Who could resist an invitation like that? Facilitated by Reverend Dalia Adams at Villa Maria del Mar in Santa Cruz. A beautiful, beautiful place. The May newsletter is out, and you can pick one up at the table in the Great Hall. Out in front here. Number 3, join the Unity Walkers. We have Betty has, her name is at the top of the list. She's organizing this opportunity for people to walk together. And you meet at Alamo Park Mondays at 9:30 a.m., beginning May 6th, so that happens to be tomorrow. Meet at Alamo Creek Park in the corner of Buck Avenue and Alamo Drive in Vacaville. You can walk alone or with others at your own pace. If you need information about this, see Betty. Betty, raise your hand. Back row, way back there. Anyway, and while we're on the subject of Betty and Vern, and with the help of Anne, did a marvelous thing. Anne was notified by a friend of hers that she had a lot of aluminum cans. And we said, a lot of aluminum cans? Okay, yeah, sure. Anyway, she gave the address, go pick them up. So Vern and I went over there, and it was a mountain of, I can't imagine, somebody would, get repetitive motion problems, by drinking that many cans of soda. But anyway, they took them to recycling and got $130. So our team works. That's the beauty of community. You tell this person, they tell that, and somebody's got to pick up. All right. So now I'd like to invite Reverend Dalia to come up and talk about some new classes that are coming up.
I have to bring papers to keep my story straight. Could I get a blank slide just for a moment, because I want to do something else first? I want to acknowledge and thank the wonderful people who planned, organized, and worked hard to make our Lagoon Valley cleanup happen. And in particular, I want to honor Warren and Bob, Warren Spaeth and Bob Panzer and Greg Kennedy. They were the energy behind it. This is a most wonderful event. It's open to our community and the greater community, and we've had people who don't attend church come join that event. It is an expression of our dedication to our planet, to the earth, to the environment. It is a wonderful service. It's great fun. Some of the best veggie dogs I've ever had have been served at the Lagoon Valley cleanup. And then yesterday, there was a divine contribution to the day in the form of tremendous amounts of water. So the event did not go as planned, but the intention, The love for our community, the love for our planet was still there, and I want to honor and thank each and every person who contributed. I want to acknowledge that Richard Potts, Dan Perkins, and Bobby Fortner, and Troy Fortner, I believe, right, were there. I came, but I couldn't find them, so I ate a lot of the pastries that I brought. And then didn't feel so very good, but they were good. There's some for hospitality, I think. Anyway, thank you for the love and the dedication each of you bring. I also want to mention that when we had the blessing of the candle, the Christ candle, that Mina wasn't there with the group. I don't know if many of you noticed. Normally she's right there. Mina is at her first YOU rally. The YOUs and Uniteens are attending together this weekend, and she was the one child from our church that attended. And so this has been a rite of passage for her. So let's hold her in our hearts and just wish her the absolute best. So, see, I'm up here longer than Richard. You can't let me up. I am offering a prosperity class that was announced as either on Zoom or in person, depending on what the people signing up wanted. People wanted on Zoom, so it is on Zoom. It is not Mondays, Tuesday, from 4 to 6 on Zoom. So starting this Tuesday. Prosperity is a very, very basic unity teaching. It's about the power within us to create the life we want. It's about an abundance of joy, abundance of finances, abundance of time, abundance of love, abundance of all the things that bring us into that kingdom of heaven that we've been talking about. We're going to be basing this class on Edwina Gaines' book. And I know many of you know her. If you don't, you should. She's a dynamo. I hear that she was either here at the church, and possibly at an Asilomar retreat. Yes? Okay. Yeah, so it'll be a great class. If you're thinking about it, please sign up. Okay. Also, the other thing is we're trying to envision prosperity for our community, and this is a wonderful avenue to do that. The other class, there is a mindfulness meditation basics class. It's a 4-week class on Saturdays. This one is also on Zoom. And this one I'm offering because I am completing a 2-year mindfulness meditation certification program. And one of the things they want us to do is to present a class according to their format. I've done a 10-week class before the way I would do it. So this time I'm going to do it the way I'm supposed to do it, I guess. But mindfulness meditation is amazing. It's wonderful for health, for peace of mind, for an openness to what is and to possibilities. So again, it's 4 weeks, an hour class on Zoom, Saturday mornings at 10. I'd love to see all of you there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dalia. My mother always used to say, many hands make light work. And so it works. Thank you for doing such a good job. All right, now please join me in reciting our statement of faith. There is only one power and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good.
Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. In the forest thou art green. In the forest thou art green. In the mountain thou art high. In the mountain thou art high. In the river thou art restless. In the river thou art restless. In the ocean thou art grave. In the ocean thou art grave. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. To the serviceful thou art service. To the serviceful thou art service. To the lover thou art love. To the lover thou art love. To the sorrowful thou art sympathy. To the sorrowful thou art sympathy. To the yogi thou art bliss. To the yogi thou art bliss. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. At thy feet, oh, I do bow. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful. Oh God, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really love that chant. So we are talking about heaven in 2024, and we're talking about compassion as a pathway to heaven, and we'll talk about other ways in which we bring this consciousness of the kingdom into our lives in this moment, in this day, right here, right now. And sometimes that's easy, like when we look at those flowers, it just fills us. And then other times it can be tough. Things happen in our lives, some very, very difficult things. And so compassion is one of the pathways to recapturing or finding that consciousness of the kingdom that Jesus taught. Today I want to speak about a pathway. It's also a pathway of compassion, but specifically the teaching that we are to love ourselves. Jesus taught us to love others as we love ourselves. And in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, he was teaching his disciples, and one of them asked, what is the greatest commandment? In other words, with all the things we're supposed to do in our lives, all of the practices that we're supposed to hold on to and express, which is the most important? And Jesus answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. This is the first and the greatest commandment. So whatever we understand God to be, however we know the God that is within us and enfolds us, whatever that is to us, we are to love that God or that mystery or that presence. Whatever words you use, we are to love that more than anything else. So if we experience that presence of God within us, we are to love that presence of God within us more than anything else. And the second commandment, according to the teaching in the Gospel of Matthew, is like the first: love your neighbor as you love yourself. That can be interpreted in many different ways, but one of the ways is the way you love yourself. That is how you are to love your neighbor and those around you. Jesus is known for many different teachings, but the ones that are attributed to be his key teachings are the teachings about the kingdom. The fact that the kingdom of God is within us, that we are one with God. And then the commandments about love and forgiveness. So we give Jesus credit for that teaching, we honor it, but Jesus is not the only spiritual teacher, not the only spiritual tradition that says the most important thing or one of the most important things is to love. There's a Buddhist magazine called Lion's Roar, and Melvin McLeod either is or was the editor-in-chief, and he did a very extensive interview with Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the most beloved Buddhist teachers of our times. And he said when he wrote the article, he is a Buddhist, so for him, this interview, he didn't feel like a journalist, but he felt like a devotee, a follower of the Buddha as he listened to this master, Thich Nhat Hanh. And Melvin McLeod commented in his part of the interview that in the Buddhist teaching, it's clear that to love oneself is the foundation for the love of other people. And in that interview, he quoted Thich Nhat Hanh as saying, if you are not capable of taking care of yourself, of nourishing yourself, of protecting yourself, it is very difficult to take care of another person. Other spiritual traditions share this teaching of love, love for others, love for ourselves. Psychology teaches this. In the last 50 years of psychology, positive psychology has emerged and is strong and is researched, and the importance of love for many different things is always affirmed. Self-compassion has been a buzzword in psychology and positive psychology. I pulled this picture from the internet that says embrace self-compassion, and you can sign up for a 21-day program to learn how to be kinder to yourself. It's from the website of a psychologist, Tara Cousineau, Dr. Tara Cousineau. She's written books on kindness and compassion. She has other programs on her website to learn how to do this. Isn't it strange that there should be programs out there to teach us to be kind to ourselves? Isn't that about the weirdest thing on the face of the earth? I mean, really? And yet it's true. It is so true that we need to be intentional about it. We need to learn skills for doing it. And you know what I found in my own life experience? Especially in my work as a therapist, It continues as I work here as a minister that the kindest, most loving, most caring people toward others are often the people that find it the hardest to extend that same love to themselves. Have you noticed that? No? Okay, pay attention. It's the people who don't care very much about how the other guy feels that are very quick to, hey, I need this. You need to be nicer to me. I need this and I need it now. But it's the person who is looking out for everyone else. And I've heard people express guilt at times for taking time for themselves, for taking care of themselves. Unity teaches us to be good to ourselves. So sometimes enough years in unity knocks that out of us, but not always, not always. So self-compassion, we've been focusing on compassion. Self-compassion is an expression of love for ourselves based in a consciousness of oneness with God and oneness with all of creation. We've said that about compassion every time we've talked about it, that it's always based in that consciousness of oneness. If I truly know that I'm an expression of the divine, that God expresses through me, that the divinity lives within me, wouldn't I treat myself with honor and respect? If I truly knew that? If I experienced myself as one with God, would I call myself stupid? Would I ever say to myself that was the dumbest thing anybody ever did? Okay. So that's where the strength of that consciousness comes in. It guides us to be open to that self-compassion. Self-compassion is based in honor and respect for ourselves. It's based in a recognition of suffering. There are moments that are just plain difficult. No matter how many spiritual truths we know, there are moments that are not easy. There are moments that hurt our hearts, worry our brains, make our throats feel like they're clenching up, or make our jaws hurt. Or make our stomach hurts. Have you ever felt like someone just kicked you in the gut? All right. Those are the moments that self-compassion is the perfect response to, right? So it's the recognition of suffering along with the desire to alleviate suffering. If we were with a little child, that we loved, and that child hurt themselves, or someone called them a name and their heart was hurting, would we say to them, okay, now all you have to do is change your thinking and this will be okay? How many people would do that? We tell ourselves that because it is true. When we change our thinking, when we change our perception, that's a healing process and we do better. But that's not step one. When that little child is hurting, we scoop them up and we hug them. Or we stroke their head and we say, it's going to be okay. This is going to go away. That child that called you a name is not telling the truth. They don't know what's true. They don't see how beautiful you are right now. We would extend compassion. We might scoop them up and hug them, right? And then help them see it differently. We're no different just because we're grown up. We're no different. So we extend that self-compassion. We offer love to ourselves. We embrace ourselves in whatever way works for us. And then we work on seeing it differently, right? So that's what this is about, and that's what the big hubbub in psychology is. That's what psychologists are teaching their clients, what coaches are teaching their clients. And Unity has been teaching us this all along. In the research, in the medical and psychological research, there's many, many studies that show that self-compassion is related to an improvement in physical health, in mental health, in relationships. When we're compassionate with ourselves, we have a better relationship with ourselves, but we also have a much better relationship with the other people in our lives. It's related to healing. People are discharged from hospitals sooner. They get over infections sooner. As a general rule, I mean, when you take large numbers and look at relationships. Self-compassion is related to a reduction in pain, a reduction in blood pressure, heart disease, and the list goes on. Thich Nhat Hanh, again, he taught compassion very, very often, and he said, if you take a lot of medicine, it won't work very well if the tension is still strong in your body and in your mind. And that's borne out by the research. For those of you who are medically oriented, what happens is when we hold the tension of a hurt, of a slight, of a disappointment, of grief, of fear, there are elevated cortisol levels. And if we live day after day with those elevated cortisol levels, it interferes with our immune functioning. So that's the physical mechanism of how that works. So one of the things that I want to point out, because I think in New Thought, in Unity, in religious science, in positive psychology, we inadvertently, without meaning to, do something called spiritual bypass in our effort to heal. Something happens, and as I said before, we think, well, I need to change my perception. I need to change my thinking here. I need to see this differently, which is true. But we skip the self-compassion part, and when we do that, we go into something that's been named spiritual bypass if you're a minister and you go to religious conferences, or emotional bypass if you're a psychologist and you go to psychology conferences, right? And this bypass is in general, and it's on the gray side and the left-hand side of the slide, we ignore, avoid, or pretend like it's not bothering us, like we're okay. Or we numb ourselves from feeling the hurtful feelings. The worst form of numbing, I think, is drug and addiction numbing. But we also numb ourselves by watching Netflix, by talking on the phone endlessly, by, it's just whatever your favorite drug here is, we can numb ourselves and distract ourselves till we're not thinking about it anymore. Or we can rationalize it, say, well, other people have it so much worse, I shouldn't be feeling bad. Anybody ever do that? Yeah? Okay. It doesn't heal us to just do that. I mean, yes, that could be part of our changing our perceptions and perspective later, but we begin with the self-compassion. Another way of bypassing is masking with positivity. And this is where Unity people do a great job. They mask the hurt, the disappointment, the fear with positivity. So we begin with self-compassion, just like the child that we scoop up. But we don't just stop there. We help the child see it differently once the hurt is alleviated. We do that for ourselves. So how? There's many different ways of doing this. There's not just one way. But I'm going to offer one way, one method, one practice for how to bring in self-compassion. We begin by holding the intention, making that decision, and maybe right now, right here, we can all make that decision that when I feel hurt, betrayed, troubled, sad, grieving, terrified, hopeless, whatever might come up for me, I am going to begin by holding myself with compassion. That intention is powerful. Even if we don't get any further than that, if we're unsuccessful in doing any of the other steps, that intention is a doorway. And the next time something comes up, if we hold the intention again, eventually we will do more than hold the intention. And then we pause a moment to simply recognize that something is coming up for us, that we're feeling something and it's not feeling so good. Just recognize it. You don't have to dive into it. You don't have to become suicidal over it. You don't have to get lost in what's coming up. Maybe at a distance, notice it. And very gently notice that it is there. Recognize it. And then for a little while, again, with some distance, there's a part of you that's seeing this, that's recognizing it. So there's a little space now between you and what you're feeling, but allow the feelings to be. I've told this story before, and I'm going to insert it again. One of my very first experiences as a student therapist, I was working at a college clinic, and I had an office far away from the lobby. I was way down the hall, and a client came in, and she was about to get her PhD in nursing. I mean, this was a high-power individual. And we sat down, and she looks at me, she goes, "Can we go outside?" I didn't know if that was okay or not okay. I had no idea. So I said yes. So we went out. And she goes, "Thank you." She goes, "I can't breathe." And she goes, I can't breathe. I think I'm having a panic attack. Well, I'm brand new. I read about panic attacks somewhere. I don't know what to do with this. I'm starting to panic. And I'm outside, so I can't call for help. And so I stalled. I said, we were by a tree. She goes, "Why don't you sit down under the tree and just tell me what you're experiencing?" And she goes, it hurts right here when I breathe. And I go, "What else?" And she described all of the symptoms she was experiencing. And by the time she was done, the panic attack was over. It ended very, very quickly. I later learned that if you can get someone heading into a panic attack to separate from the symptoms, to be the observer that is watching the symptoms, that is one way of helping them move through it. When she was feeling better, I could ask her, "Have you felt like this before? Have you always come out of it before? What did you do to come out?" I did an excellent job with that panic attack, but I did it in self-defense. But still, what I was helping her do was allow it without diving into it. Hold that gentle interest. What is this trying to tell me? What is it trying to tell me that my throat feels like it's tightened up? Or what is it? What is my body? What is my heart trying to tell me because it's pounding so hard? Or what is this trying to tell me that I feel like I got kicked in the gut? Again, to hold the question. You may or may not get an answer in that moment. But it's like when we get our names in the first Sunday of January, it doesn't always come in the moment. But when you're washing the dishes, there's the answer. It'll come. So that a gentle interest, just like when you're holding the child, tell me what's wrong, right? Tell me what's wrong. I'm interested. I care. This is different from diving headlong into it and getting drowned by it. And then you nurture yourself. In whatever way nurturing yourself works for you. Some people talk to me about bubble baths. Some people like to light a candle and put on some music. Some people like rocking chairs. I'm a rocking chair person, with the blanket around me. There's a thing called a butterfly hug that children are taught. You hug and then you gently rock back and forth slowly. There's self-talk, telling yourself how wonderful you are. There's that ability to know that in that moment you are enfolded by the love that is God. That's self-nurturing. You discover what works for you as you go along. So I want to leave you with this urging to begin with that intention, to know that loving yourself is not optional. It's the greatest commandment that's taught by many, many spiritual traditions, including psychology and medicine. That when we do that, we are creating a pathway to heaven, to that consciousness of the kingdom. And Kristen Neff, again, a psychologist who has immersed herself in the study of compassion, has this to say, and I really love it, so I will end with what she says. Whenever something goes wrong, I silently repeat, this is a moment of suffering. This is life. May I be kind to myself. May I give myself the compassion I need. And so it is.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my peace go deeper, my peace go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my peace go deeper, my peace go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
And so now we go deeper into our time of meditation. Allow your breath to come easily and effortlessly. And for a little while, rest your attention on the movement of your breath, noticing how your breath feels when you breathe in and when you breathe out. You may also notice how each breath allows your body to relax a little more deeply. How each breath takes you deeper within. And you can allow yourself to go deep into your heart space, that sacred space within you where you feel the divine love that flows through your heart and through your being. And within that sacred space, hold the intention that I choose to be compassionate toward myself. I choose to love myself. And then in the silence, ask yourself, is there anything within me in this moment that is asking for compassion, that is asking for love? Hold those questions in the silence. Hold your intention in the silence. And if it is right, offer that love and compassion to yourself. Right here, right now, in the silence. I choose to love myself. Holding that affirmation in your heart, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room, back to this time and place. When you're ready, open your eyes. And I invite you to look around and see the beautiful Christ light that is shining on each and every face. Just look around and see the love and the light that is the Christ. See it on every face. And then know that that same light and love is shining through you right now in this very moment. And then join me in saying, thank you. Thank you, God. Amen. A little louder. Thank you, God. Amen.
Now it's time when we've been receiving and receiving and receiving, and we have had a feast here this morning. Reverend Dalia's message, for leading us in meditation, reminding us to be compassionate toward ourselves, and George Hager's music, his years and years and years of care that he's learned how to deliver all of this care to us, musical care. And we feel thankful. You remember, we're going to acknowledge our ushers here with their baskets. And if you'll indulge me for just a minute, do you remember when the first time in church you had your own money to give, and your mother or your dad didn't have to say, here's $1, here's. You remember that? I invite you to feel that same feeling today, that somehow you have managed your life well enough. You've been compassionate enough to where you have received. Now it's time to feel that good feeling again, that you have something to give. And ladies, The ushers will come around with baskets, and if you have cash, check, put it in the basket. If you've already given in another form, hold your hand over the basket and bless the tithes and offerings. Also, you can text, you go online, use your devices. And in this case, it's not dividing you from things, it's connecting you to things. So use your devices and go on our website, Unity of the Valley, and text give, or just press the give button and you'll get instructions for how to do it. So anyway, let's recite the blessing of the tithes and offerings. God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. Still I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that can never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. I find myself. In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that can never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. I find God. I find myself.
Now, please join me in our affirmation of divine substance. The inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every. There is only
Lack.
abundance is here and now.
Manifest.
And now the next slide, the peace song. I love this ritual that we do in Unity. Our circle is a little smaller today. How about everybody circle this middle section?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Together, God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity. And please join me in our closing affirmation. I hold myself with love and compassion. And so it is. So now take time to greet each other, hug each other, dance with each other, bow, whatever comes up from your heart.